Hello everyone, welcome. Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. MultiVac on our radar today, MTV on the exchange. We are looking at this post right now. So, bit of background. Back at the end of December, the CEO change. I think it was Frank who left, and Sean took over. Now, everyone involved in other words, invested kind of in MultiVac has been, going a bit mad the last few months. I know a lot of you out there hold a lot of MTV. It's something that I've started building towards the end of last year. I openly admitted that I heard about it through Cheeky Crypto a long time ago, probably around a year ago actually. Didn't really act upon it because my portfolio was quite big in terms of like how many assets I had. But I did more research over that period of time, and I was like, actually, this is really cool. So I started bagging that up, then realizing how much other people have, and I thought, oh, I need to speed this up a bit. So I've been going about my business, trying to build the MultiVac bag, but we had the CEO change end of December, as I mentioned, and since then, it's been relatively quiet across the board for MultiVac, and we've seen a lot of communication from them regarding like NFTs, really focusing on that mostly, and I think that's kind of annoyed a few people, but also there was the lack of communication. And when they did finally release a roadmap, they released that basically a Medium article with like a few lines on it. And I was sort of sat there, like many of you, sitting there thinking, are we going to pull out? Is this what we were originally investing in? And we invested in the ideology of it, of course, based on what's on their website, AMAs that have been done in the past. And to be fair, Sean did do an AMA, I think it was in January sometime, just as a sort of brief intro to himself and what's going on. But yeah, that roadmap I think hit a lot of people hard, questioning, oh, do I want to continue holding this? I know a lot of people moved their positions to other assets. I've kept holding it. Like I said, I'm keeping accumulation based on the belief in it. In terms of what I've seen technically, but there's an aura of something they perhaps need to change with their philosophy. Maybe I remember reading on their website about they were saying they were a competitor to DAG. Well, it's a very bold statement to make, but especially now that sort of sits prominently on your website still. And the fact that the communication is pretty poor. Appreciate the team is still building and trying to be worked out, etc. This or this, that, and the other. When you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing yourselves already. So that's a bit of a gripe I have. I know, leave your comments below, how you're feeling with MultiVac. I know people have been making it very clear on our comments on our videos, the last few, about what they think towards MultiVac. But this is really interesting. This is Sean, the new CEO, still alive. That's great to hear, first of all. I'm just not quite used to being the general manager of a team. I used to just do technology, but now it's a challenge for me. I need to care about tax, law, and personnel. Studying hard, so I'm a little busy. Well, I'm now wondering if he made the roadmap and if he's actually doing everything himself. I do need to do a bit of digging to see how the team is looking right now for MultiVac. Might do a bit of a scour on LinkedIn and a couple of other places. But very interesting what's going on here. It's good that he's come out, and I think a lot of people just jumping on this and being like, is there a team? Is there a team? Can you tell us about the team? You can't be a master of all of these. What's going on? MultiVac marketing, sorry. Loads of people trying to apply for a job, which is quite cool. It's a good way of doing it for sure. where there's an opportunity, you can be the solution for sure. So yeah, guys, it's looking very, very crazy right now. The way this is worded is like he's doing everything. Um, it's very difficult. I think of the position, like people need to take a step back and see the position that he's been put in, right? Like the CEO's changed over in December, and he's gone, oh, by the way, Sean, here you go. You're gonna have to sort this out. See you later. And maybe he's been in the business for a while, of course. You can't just switch it on. It's difficult. You can't just like expect someone to get everything done overnight. It's a few months period, to be honest. But one thing's for sure is, when you're dealing with a mass of people investing in your project and perhaps have a lot of money invested and staking opportunities, you do need to take a step back and perhaps prioritize certain acquisitions of talent, if you like, roles to accommodate people that are looking left, right, and centre, like Hawkeyes. Retail investors are hawk-eyed people when it comes to what's going on in a project. And trust me, with social media, any small inkling of negativity or something that doesn't look right will be splattered everywhere within a matter of seconds. So I, for one, personally am still investing in MultiVac, but not as heavy accumulation as I was before. But I am taking advantage of these lower regions on the basis that I believe in MultiVac's technology and project that it lays out, but keeping a firm eye and cautiousness of development or lack of. I know in business across the board it is difficult to accumulate a team, especially if you've been thrown in that position. We're in a bad market as it is, so I do try and take a step back. And that's why I encourage to everyone out there is take a step back, then make a decision. Don't make an emotional decision because you're angry or you're annoyed and fed up. Have a look at all the circumstances and situations. Remind yourself of the technology, then make a decision. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't keep your MTV in your portfolio, but at least think first. That's all I can say, just from experience, not just in crypto, but of course the working environment that I've been in for the last 12 years since leaving uni. That's all I can say. But guys, let's have a look at the chart before I bore you to death with advice. Fortunately, it's not financial advice, it's life advice, I guess. So still the downward trend occurs. However, we are seeing some nice stability in this area. This is where we've been putting our buy orders here for Steve and I at the moment. A lower and a higher, it's not very much difference really, but it's still hitting those areas. Couple of conclusive things to think about. This area here, back here in January, and arguably possibly beginning of January as well, very much being matched right now. So this is a critical stage because we got the match-up periods here back in August last year, and as we mentioned in previous videos, there have been touch points around this area as well, but it's like a little magnet. It's gone in this high purchasing power, brought itself down, but not enough, and it's sort of pulled itself around this area, shot through, and then obviously like the rest of the market as well, since around sort of November really, October, November time, all these charts have been driving downwards. Where is this bottom? No one really knows. All you can do is really dollar cost average your way down, as well as up, of course. But I like these positions. These are areas, like I said, I was new to the pie. I was getting into MultiVac around August time. It was roughly around 1.5, maybe 2 cents. I think it was like 1.5 cents or something. It shot up to around about nearly 3 cents. So I had a good little move up there. But I was gutted that I wasn't involved with MultiVac back when I heard about it first of all in Cheeky Crypto, which is way back down here at 0.002. But not massively far off really to this point, and that's why I'm a bit excited about it, because even they themselves and other YouTubers, not sponsored ones or anything, it's like proper research and interest in these projects. That's what got me first, and I still believe in it, and I think this isn't too much of a risky thing for me personally. Again, do your own research, think about it for your own good. But for me, it's okay. It's okay to be investing at these levels and trying to accumulate as much as I can when I can. But just not as much as I was before. Nowhere near as what I was buying back here. And I was sort of dollar cost averaging around sort of January, February time. But as I sort of developed that thought process, like, hang on a minute, it's a bit of lack of communication here. What's going on? The roadmap came out, it's a bit messy. So I'm just not taking a step back fully, but I'm just being cautious. So that's what I'm doing. My buy areas are still around here. I'm not anticipating a massive overhaul of MultiVac all of a sudden. The same with other charts as well. So that's my position. And you see here the selling off is still occurring. It's not massive. It's a smaller wave than it was back at the end of February. So that's good in terms of people are, yes, slowly selling, but not significantly, not big patterns like this. And any of the small sell-off patterns, even at the beginning of the year, have not been massive at all. And if anything, the intake has been a lot bigger. So probably the accumulation of this area here between the 19th of February to where we are now has probably roughly matched this intake area here that we saw between pretty much the whole of February, to be honest. But at the moment, the RSI, albeit yesterday had a bit of a pickup because of the US hikes, it seems that hasn't had too much damage yet to the markets. But for sure, the RSI is still looking healthy for me as a buying position. As you know, I like that sort of 40 mark on 28-day and 14 days. That is relating to these, by the way, guys, that you didn't know. So good areas, obviously not as good as yesterday, but still in a reasonable position for me to go, okay, I can still top this up. Of course, there might be an anticipation that might go down a bit lower still, but that's the whole point of me dollar cost averaging down. Then I know that when I look at these 90-day ones, and I probably will, to be fair, add maybe a couple more options in here as time goes by. But this 3-month option is looking really positive as well. It has been dragging itself down, but it's a good position lower wise to then look at this back in hopefully a few months' time, where hopefully the market has turned itself into a more positive outlook, and that's a really good indicator. Not just obviously looking at charts up here, but more importantly, for me, the indicators down here are telling me that actually, based on a 90-day, this could be, for example, 90-day could be showing something like, I don't know, like 70, 80, who knows? Maybe it's most of the time, if it hits 70 or 80, you're in pretty much a double position from where you were 3 months ago. But everyone's got a different strategy. I take percentages along the way anyway, but for sure, when I see 70 or above, I get really excited. Because I know I've been accumulating at the lower regions of the RSI a few months back. So I might add another 6-month one on there, because at this rate, to be fair, we're looking about November when the sort of takedown occurred on most of these assets. At this rate, we could be looking at an entire 6-month plan. In fact, I might add that in for the next video and see what that looks like. Last pit, guys, before we wrap this up, the MACD still showing a bearish momentum. So we've got the MACD switching over last back here on 19th of February. So since then, it has tried to drag itself back, but is still very stable, but in a downward trend. Hopefully this narrows over the coming weeks. We'll have to see. I'm really interested to see what the impact is of the US hike rate news from yesterday, because I do think that some positive kicks in. And then eventually it goes back to normality again, and people are like, oh yeah, by the way, the world is still a bit crazy, right? So I have to see how that plays out on all assets, not just this one. Finally, performance-wise, 16% down the week, not what I want to see. But yeah, they do need to massively up their game in marketing and communication. That, I don't know if they've got someone in that, but for sure it looks like they're struggling personnel-wise or something. That's not being critical of marketing or anything. I know that every job is difficult for sure, but if if MultiVac are listening, sort your team out, give them responsibility, delegation, believe in them, trust in them, and then the reward will come because people start believing again. But for now, it's looking a bit negative still at the moment. Still up on the year though, but that has dragged down significantly to where it used to be. And I'm concerned that keeps bringing itself down. However, the 3 months and the 1 month are actually quite respectable compared to many other assets out there. A lot are still tracking sort of 50% plus in negative on a 3 month. 6 months, not as good, of course, but that's quite expected in most asset classes now. So guys, let us know what you're doing with your MultiVac. Are you sticking in there with me, or have you left the party and coming back later, or are you just seeing how things are going? Let us know, really interested. But guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next MTV video. Take care. Bye bye.